when I look at something visually, I just want it to look good. And then I worked at a brand's firm. And so I had a boss who, you couldn't send him a document if it wasn't justified.
I learned that from Tope too.
Yes. You couldn't send him. He would send it back to you. Say, what's this? You need to format it properly. You need to, arrange it properly so that it looks good. So I think that I sort of picked that up from him, and then even being able to work on a have a laptop to use and all that. It was because I was working. I couldn't have done all those things. I would have probably written it in a book, but because I was working there, they gave me a laptop to work with. I could not afford a laptop at that time. So, and I remember that writing professionally for me, because I know that I got into the industry before you did. Writing professionally for me started while I was working in that brand's firm, because I had a colleague. And it was not like it was anything that I actually struggled for, anything of the sort. I had a colleague, she was the accountant at the time. And then she came to the office one day and said, oh, I need to go somewhere. I need to, somebody gave me a number. I need to call this guy. This guy is he's a producer and what have you. And I just told her, can I come along? And she was like, oh, sure, no problem. So I took something that I'd written, which is a lesson. You need to be ready. Like you always say, a writer writes.
Yes, a writer
writer always writes. And I realized that was something that I used to do. Like I was just always writing. So I went with something that I'd written. She just had like a synopsis or something. I had a proper script, And so when we got there, they called me and they didn't call her. And that was where
they collected guest star.
No, not really. And that was when I met Kehinde Joseph. And so when I met Kehinde Joseph was the one who told me about Final Draft. It was the one, who sort of gave me an idea, because that also influenced some of the decisions that we took later on.
Yeah.
I looked up to him. This guy was brilliant when we were in the room, because we had writers' workshop. I didn't even know that they used to give people money when you come for workshop. I had no idea. I'm here. I was just happy to be there.
The room,
just happy to be there. And the fact that they were impressed with the ideas that I didn't keep quiet. I gave my ideas. I, voiced my opinion. I just, was me. You know me now. So I was just me, and they were impressed with that. So when I was leaving, the producer came and said, ma'am, because that's how he refers to me. He said, ma'am, please help us manage this one for your transport. And then I counted it was 5,000 naira. No, was it 3,500 or something at that time? Just to come and do something.
And do what you already did. Just to talk story.
Just to talk. I was like, okay. And so when I was going to script, I remember that I was paid 10,000 naira for that, and I was happy to take it.
Yeah.
Like it was just, and it was an ongoing show. And after that, that was a new show. I think that was Family Ties or something. Because I was so good, the guy now decided to put me on an ongoing show. In fact, he told me, he said, I don't think you will be able to catch up. I said, try me. Give me all the scripts. I will read it and I will catch up. He did not believe it. I read the script. By the time I got into the room, he was just looking at me like, who is this girl? He did not believe it. I eventually wrote on that ongoing show, So I sort of had that bit of background, just that bit of background and that exposure, because before we now became, really close. Yes.
Like when I was in university, I met Chini Love Easy. Chini, my bestie. So Chini will come. I think she was using all her pocket money to rent films. I thank God that, it's paying off now. Because she would come with like 8 Nollywood films or 10 Nollywood films. I don't go to class. I already told you I hated what I was doing. So I was just doing it. So she would come to my room, we'll watch Nollywood film after Nollywood film. We'll yab them, the ones that are not working. What they do like this, they did this properly. Why is talking like that? This. Remove it, we'll put the next one. What's this? And then the ones we enjoy them together. So we watched a whole lot of movies, and I didn't know that at that time it was the
building yourself.
Yes, I was building myself. So it just felt like a love of movies, and that was it. So sometimes the things that you're criticizing now, or the things that you enjoy, might be a pointer to where you are actually supposed to be.
And another thing that I want to say is you cannot work in the industry and not what's the word now? it's like not drinking from the fountain that is
yes.
Like you can't be a writer and say you are not watching Hollywood films. You can't be a writer in Nigeria and say you're not watching Hollywood films. It's ridiculous. You need to know what's out there. You need to know what other people really are
even
doing.
if you are feeling like it's not good, then it's your job to make it better, but at least you need to know what's not working, then you know how to solve the problem. So Tope and I, we started, working on stuff together in church. And it was so easy because even sharing the idea, it didn't feel like work. It felt like I was talking to myself. You know how you and yourself, you agree with yourself. Yeah. So I would say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. She'd be like, okay, I think so. Let's also add this. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Let's add this. And then we started writing so much. And I think that it became hard to know what I wrote and what Tope wrote.
Sure.
Or where the lines,
the lines became blurred.
Yeah, so you kind of became one person style, even though we're so different. Getting into the business of writing. So while we were doing this for church, this lady, Joy Ayegbeni, now Joy Grant, the same Joy that Tope had met, and she said, come to church to meet me. So she came to me first and she said, oh, there's this director, he just came from America, he wants to make a movie. So I was like, I said, my business. She said, don't you know that this thing you people are doing here in church, they pay people for it, come and write it, Joe. I said, no, I don't do this professionally. In fact, there's somebody else I know in church, you know her now, all of you work on Tinsel, she writes for Tinsel, now why don't you go and meet her? So I, told her to meet somebody else. And
then she came to meet me, actually. She came to meet me. I think she called me. I was working, at that time I was working in church office. So she called me and said, hey, Tope, how far now? Do you have any story or any script that's, a rom-com director? She told me exactly the same thing. There's this director. I told her, I said, no, I don't have anything. I don't like, have you spoken to the same person you refer that to? Like, have you spoken to her? She now said, no. I said, talk to her now. She's the one that is doing this thing professionally. Like, talk to her. So I think she went to talk to her. So she did. And the person wrote a few pages for the director. And then she came back and said, the director didn't like it. That you should do. I said, somebody that is doing it professionally, I don't know, like, is it my own? I don't even know anything about this. That she, like, I think she got tired of us. And so she went to meet my sister, Pastor Mildred, like I said. And so Pastor Mildred writes a lot. She's also a storyteller. Before the work of the ministry took her away, she's an absolutely amazing storyteller. Those who listen to her 3 p.m. with PM on Instagram, like, they know that she's a storyteller. So, Joy went to meet her and said, oh, Pastor M, can you do this? Can you help us write this thing? And so she said, okay. So she wrote the first scene. That's the first scene. No. Okay, no, she called us. Okay. Because she was like, I cannot type more. So she called us. I remember getting the girl, like, Mama wants you in the house. And I was wondering, hey, what's up? What's happening? Like, because at that time also, she was also my boss. So I was wondering what was so when we got to the house, I saw you there, like, what's happening? And then, she now told us how the first scene she came up with the story. Yes. And then she said, oh, like, this is how the first scene, you guys just, so Tope was doing the typing. And then we wrote it and sent it to the director. And the director said, I love it, but this first scene is my own budget. It's my own budget. Please cut it down. So we went ahead and we wrote, the beginning. No. Joy came to meet us. Okay. Yes. Joy came to meet us and said, that Mama said she can't really do this, So I remember we had that meeting in the house in the living room. She said to us, she said, you guys are going to write this, but more than no for my hand. That's what she said to us. She said, more than no for my hand. More than no for my hand. They say, I remember we looked at each other like, yeah. Told you that this thing. If you say, you're on your own. You're on your own. We're like, okay, we'll go and we'll see what we'll do, And then we went away. Yeah. And then we both, so at that time I was working in a clinic and Tope was also working. Were you working in church office? Church office, yes. Okay, church office. So after work, Tope will come and meet me in the clinic. And if I didn't have any patients, okay, this is how we'll do. And then I would just, at that time I wasn't really doing the typing. So I would just be talking and coming up with the story. Yeah. And then, Tope was typing. And then when the clinic closes, on the way home in the car, we'll continue talking. We'll talk about in the car because she had to go to work the next day and so did I. So we had to maximize any time that we had together.
So yeah, so we came up with a few. We didn't want to write everything.
I think it was about 40-something pages.
Yeah, we didn't feel like we should write everything because we somewhere
like,
in the
let's
back
be
of our
sure.
minds, we didn't feel like they would like it, and we didn't want to waste our time.
Yeah.
So we sent in the first 30-something pages or 40 pages, and then it was BlackBerry.
Yeah.
So Joy sent us a voice note, and that was Sheikh Babatope's voice note, and he was saying, "I love it, I love it. Where's the rest?"
Did you
say
say?
Rest?
Interest. And I recall that when we got that message, we had a drama vigil. Do you remember that we had a drama vigil?
I remember that.
We had a drama vigil because he said he needed to get the rest because he had to start shoot. So I know the way Joy is, because Joy is just gonna be on your neck like, where is it? So we had a vigil. So I recall that I think I came to your house and then we drove together to the vigil, and on the way to the vigil we were talking about, okay, where did we stop? Wait, where did we stop in that script? Okay, we need to pick up from here. So what now happens from here and all of that, we started talking about it. So we had to talk about that all through to the vigil, and eventually, of course, the script came out. And the funny thing was, we both, after we finished writing the script, we both went back to our respective lives.
Yeah, we just moved on. Like, we didn't think... what was wrong with Osha?
I don't know. I don't know.
We just felt like, okay, moving on. I went back to clinic to go and be extracting teeth. She too, she went back to her brand's firm. So then, they called us and said they wanted to do a writer's interview. We got there and he met us and he was like, "Oh, hi guys," and everything. And then when we told him that we're not professional writers,
he could not believe it.
He didn't know. I'm sure he still doesn't believe it till tomorrow. He just was like, "What are these girls talking about? You guys are professional. You are like you." And so we said, "Oh no, we wanted to. We don't want to continue till we get some training." Yes, that was the thing. So we're not like, "Oh, we didn't want to continue writing till we get some training," because like, okay, we're going to do more stuff. I'm like, no, we wanted to get some training. And he said, "Don't get any training."
Yeah, he actually disabused us of the thought of getting any training.
Don't get it. Like, no, why don't we get training? We'll get training now. He just felt like, okay, you guys are already doing good, but we still did attend some trainings.
Oh, definitely.
We attended some trainings afterward, and it was really good that we did, because being good isn't everything. Like, okay, I'm a good storyteller. That is not, in fact,
it's never enough.
Never ever enough. Yes, that's the foundation that you need to build on, but you definitely need to build a house, and training helps you with that. So finally, we left there and went back to our lives again. And sometime in November, he called. And
was it the one that called you?
Yes, he called me. That was the very first time he was calling me himself. He called me and he said, "We did it! We did it! We got the AMVCA nomination for screenwriting."
Oh, it was Joy that called me. I remember I was feeding my baby. It was at night. And then Joy called me and said, "Congratulations!" Oh. I said, "Congratulations. What's happening?" He said, "You guys have been nominated for AMVCA." And the funny thing, before this, I remember that Diche and I were talking
about the AMVCA. You were in my house and we were watching it.
We were watching it
the year before.
And
we said, "Oh, we would really like to attend."
Yes, we said, "No, we said we will." Yeah.
We said we would love to attend. We really want to attend this thing. Yeah.
Next year. We said so. And then, it was so weird that we said that the year before, and then the following year, like it was not like we calculated or we planned or no. This was just grace at work. And then she called me, "Congratulations," so something. And I was wondering, what are you congratulating me for? "You guys have been nominated for the AMVCA." Eh? I'm like, "What did you say?" I think I called you immediately.
Yeah, I told you they called me. They called me too. And it was just so surprising. Shocking. It was shocking. This was us that just give us ticket, let's attend. That was how we felt the year before. Like, anybody, just carry us in your bag. Yeah! Let's attend. And now we're attending the very first AMVCAs as nominees. It was crazy. It was amazing. So we went to the nominees brunch.
Yeah.
We did the whole pampering.
I remember at the brunch was quite significant because, again, as novices, there's a tendency to want to withdraw, the tendency to feel like
you don't deserve
to be in the room. So I remember how we saw the teen stars and a lot of people, And then while we were seated, Diche and I were just, we're reveling in, the novelty of the fact that we're here, and it was just so surreal. Everything was surreal. And while we were there, I just saw that they were carrying bags and passing us, carrying bags. what's happening? I said, Diche,
These bags. Are you sure it's not? We're not supposed to call. I said, Tope, stay one, please. Manage yourself. Stay well. Tope said, I'm going to go ask them because that's how she is.
Yeah, that's how I am. Yes, and no, I think I also need to give credit to Pastor K, because that period he taught us about the salvation package, and
Pastor K is Pastor Kingsley
Okonkwo,
Davis Christian Center.
He talked about that was when he preached about salvation package, and I remember the example vividly that he gave, where he said it was their anniversary, and then it was them Amaka Onyeni's anniversary, and then they took them out to watch a movie, and then when they went to watch the movie, they wanted to give them popcorn, and he didn't want to take popcorn. We're like, I don't want. I said, PK is part of the ticket, and he said, you paid for. Give me my popcorn.
This is part. I must collect my thing.
Exactly, because it's part of the package. I think that was the thing that triggered in my head, like, let me go and ask if it's part of the package. They forbid, I will collect. It's my own. So I stood up against Diche's advice. Against her advice, I stood up and I went to meet the ladies. I said, good afternoon. She said, good afternoon. I said, please, the bags that are, you guys are taking, who is it for? I said, for nominees. I said, we are nominees. And she was like, really? I said, in my head, I'm like, duh, did they write down for Fred? Hey, God. Did they write down for Fred? She said, yes. She now said, nominees for what? I said, When Love Happens. Oh, okay. Because we were new writers, nobody knew our faces, nobody knew us, but they knew the film.
Yeah.
So the moment I said we were writers for When Love Happens, guess what? She now gave us the bags and now said, oh, you guys are
supposed to come to the hotel on
tomorrow. Friday.
Was it on Friday? Yeah, on Friday.
Yes. The brunch was on Thursday. You guys are supposed to come to the hotel on tomorrow.
You have rooms. Yeah, you have rooms in Eco Hotel.
Tomorrow.
Till Sunday.
Shocked. Yeah. Like tomorrow. She said, yes, you guys are going to be lodged till Sunday. I went to meet Diche. I said, Diche. Hey! Diche! With +1, oh.
Yeah, so better husband.
With +1. I said, Diche, thank God I went to ask. Thank God that this is how I would have met this thing. Plus the bag, plus the pampering, everything.
And the bag had different things, jewelry, different umbrella,
and even when we arrived, even when we arrived at they still gave us a bag.
No, it was on the bed. So when we came into, I can remember. So when we came into the hotel, there was a package on the bed with perfume and different things. And I remember my husband saying, I can get used to this life. Said Diche, when are you writing the next one? Because I can get used to this. Like, so God, stay well. But we had an amazing time.
We did.
We sat there, and even though we didn't win, it still felt amazing. Like even being recognized at all was just winning for us, and being recognized on the very first thing that we decided to write professionally. At that time, we didn't even talk money because that was not the thing, and that's one of the things that we teach in our training arm. When you're just coming out, you can't be majoring on the minor. How much they will pay you, if they will steal your scripts, all those things are minor until you get your screen credits. When you have gotten screen credits and people know you, then you can start having those conversations. Yeah. But the first thing is just do the work, do it well. And people will treat you right because they want to keep you as a client, they want to keep you as their writer. So they will automatically treat you right if you do your job well. So just focus on that. That's the major for you.